Hello everybody, Shift Your Mindset here with a new episode. And the episode of today will be Memorial 2025, yay or nay? Are you going or are you skipping maybe the memorial for the first time in your life? Memorial is always a tricky thing for me, even if I was a JW. Why? Because I always found it a weird atmosphere. The celebration of the death of Jesus, the sacrifice he made, but there is always weird energy in that evening. Sometimes it's very late in the evening because you have to share the congregation meeting hall with another congregation. You go after each other. But it's always a strange thing for me, it was. For me it's easy now, I'm not going. And I have to tell you, I'm not missing it in the slightest way. I'm not missing it at all. Because you sit there, every year it's the same kind of talk you hear. You pass along the wine and the bread. One or two people in my congregation were eating and drinking the cheap wine and the bread. But it was always weird, strange energy. People were dressed nicely, were there on time, it was quiet, it was serious. It was always so serious. I always hated that because I think if you celebrate something, it has to be more joyful. But it was serious. But it's one of the biggest dilemmas as a Jehovah's Witness, as an ex-Jehovah's Witness, as someone who is PMO, physically and mentally out. It is always a strange thing and one of the biggest dilemmas, I think, in the Jehovah's Witness religion. Why? I will tell you why. Because this is the time towards the memorial that all the Jehovah's Witnesses go out and flyering the invitation. Extra invitations are printed. We always wanted to make sure that the biggest percentage of the territory was giving an invitation. No one showed up in my congregation from the ministry who's getting a pamphlet. No one, but that's another case, that's another story, that's another video maybe. But Jehovah's Witnesses are busy. And they also reaching out to everybody in that congregation who is inactive. So you get that weird atmosphere of seeing people you don't want to see as a Jehovah's Witness. Oh no, they are inactive. They only come to the memorial. But on the other side, they want you to come to the memorial because then they can say, oh, there's still some Jehovah's force in them. They are still drawn to the true religion. Deep down inside, they know that it's still the one and true religion. But you get that whole weird dynamics and atmosphere. Also in that parents are gonna invite you. Maybe you just left the Jehovah's Witnesses. You're just out of that religion. And then maybe you still have that guilt and fear and anxiety from the conditioning of that religion. You try to get rid of it and you are getting into a dilemma. I call it the split within you. The side you are and the side what's your baggage. That's the guilt, the fear. You still have it in your backpack and you carry it with you. And you think, yes, but my grandmother loves me so much, and it would mean a lot for her if I was there present on that day. And what's wrong with being me there for 1 hour in the whole year? I don't go to meetings, I don't go into ministry, I'm not active anymore. So what's the harm? The harm is what you put yourself through. And I'm not saying everybody has to decide for themselves. Of course. And I respect everybody's opinion. And I'm not forcing anybody to do something they don't want or whatever. Some people say, oh, but if you go, they count you as an attendant, and then you're getting that stats at the end of the year, and you're one of them, so you're giving in to them and you're helping them and stuff like that. Don't care about that. Do what you feel inside, but do it from a good place. Do it from a calm, relaxed state. If you do something you don't want to do, but you're doing it for other people, in my opinion, you are still not free. You're still not being able to be your authentic self. You're still not living the life you deserve because you let other people decide for you, and other people's opinions influence your opinion. And I don't want that personally for myself. If you want that, still be my guest, go along with it. But if you want ultimate freedom, you have to stand for what you want. And I'm not talking about problems in a relationship where you as a man are not a Jehovah's Witness anymore, but your wife and your kids still are. And your wife has to go alone and you want to go with her to support her, not the congregation. Fair, do it. But this is a time, because it's one of the biggest dilemmas there is, because Jehovah's Witnesses are gonna put pressure on you. They're gonna invite you. They want you to be there. That you're not a lost cause. That you are still have ties with the religion. That you are, maybe you do it because then your parents or your family members don't put too much pressure on you. And you still have that family tie a little bit. If you are PMO and you're hiding it, then you have to go. If you have no problem with it, there is no problem. But for me, this is a time of reflection. Because it's building up now to that date. They go the extra mile to get as many people in that congregation hall for the celebration of Jesus' death. The most important day of the Jehovah's Witnesses of the year. I doubt it, because the governing body is very busy with replacing Jesus. So maybe maybe they name it something else in the future. But it's a time now to reflect on your personal intentions. If you are bound by family ties and you're not happy with it, maybe it's time to reflect and make a choice. But in the end, you have to be comfortable with yourself. And that's my encouragement for everybody today, is go sit somewhere and ask yourself, why am I going? Or why am I not going? And see what comes up. See what comes up to the surface in yourself. Because this is the time that Jehovah's Witnesses are pulling all strings and influence everybody around them. They influence worldly people around them who are family members. They are harassing everybody with coming to the meeting, coming to the memorial. You have the biggest amount of problems because this is the time that they trick you into that it is important to show up. So I think the memorial is when ex-Jehovah Witnesses are feeling the most pressure from Jehovah Witnesses. Because even if you leave, this is the moment they pull every rabbit out of the hat to get you back into that meeting hall. After the memorial, or before, I think it's after, you have that special talk. And they also want you to be there because it's related to the memorial, and that's where the trick starts. And that's where your trap is based. Because they want this memorial to be the beginning of getting people back into active Jehovah Witnesses. And yeah, the numbers go up and everybody is happy, and this is that time they pull everything out of their sleeves to get people to that hall, to that memorial. And this is the time that people are feeling the most pressure from the Jehovah Witness religion to return to Jehovah. And a lot of people I speak to or who email me have trouble now to choose for themselves. They don't want to go, but they are going to please their parents. They are going to please their grandmother. Because then there will be no fight in the family. And there is a moment of truce. And the parents get hope that, oh, he didn't forget about Jehovah. There is still hope. So I know you mean it well. And you want the best for your parents. I also want the best for my father. That's not the problem. But what is best for you? So you're putting yourself to the background to keep that fake truce, peace, contact line with somebody who only cares about you going back to Jehovah. It has nothing to do with you personally. It always has to do with the collective, with the religion. And if you see through that it's all about the religion and the doctrines and everybody else. It isn't about that they care for you and they want to be with you. No, they only want you back in that harmful religion, that high controlled religion. They still want to control you even if you left the Jehovah Witnesses. And that's the time of the memorial. That's your biggest dilemma, I think. Because they don't care that much that you don't go into ministry or go to the meetings. Also a little bit, but it's especially with the memorial. They make it such a big thing, and it's that last lifeline to get saved in Armageddon. When I was a Jehovah Witness, I always heard elders afterwards talk, he was here. He didn't attend one meeting this year, but he hasn't forgotten about Jehovah. The world is pulling him in, but he still knows this is the only truth. He being here tonight is evidence that he can't forget Jehovah and the ransom Jesus gave him. deep down inside, he still wants to be a Jehovah's Witness. And we have to save him, we have to help him, that he gets strong enough to build up that meeting attendance. And I'm going there next week. Do you want to come with me, Sven? We're gonna encourage him to hold on and to be strong and pick up the attendance. That's how they are thinking. If you are being there, they still think you're savable. And if they think you are savable, they still think they have some kind of power over you. I'm not judging. You have to do what you have to do. I have no judgment against anybody. But the message I want to give to you is, what is your intention of going there? Are you going for yourself and you be in peace with it? Or are you going there to please other people and remain some kind of weird, fake relationship with people? Because those people let you down the minute you refuse something they want. Is that friendship? Is that unconditional love? So people, Memorial Day, biggest dilemma I think of the year. Choose wisely. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments, like this video, share it with somebody, and let me know who is skipping this memorial for the first time and how it feels. Or for the second time or third time. Whatever, let me know. Guys, have a wonderful day, stay safe. Think about what is my intention, and then you will be alright. Thank you for watching. See each other on the next episode.